Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. Some Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're 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 gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get your Ken Bozak.
And we're live.
We're live. Welcome to the show.
How goes it, everybody? We have
Yeah,
Dogecoin
hello.
Kid, Edward in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into the live stream. If you're watching it on Twitter, retweet. If you're watching it on YouTube, like and share. If you're watching it on Facebook, delete the app. And my co-host is actually with me today.
Hey, I made it. What's up?
He's not late today, so and we have good internet, which is also a plus. Got the bandwidth. So let's start with our guests today. We have Terry, Tori, and Tyler. We're gonna let them introduce themselves to the audience, let them know a little bit about themselves and where you can find their art. And then I wanted to talk to them about some topics in the NFT space, a few that have come up across the event that we've been at this week. So we'll start with Terry, then Tori, or actually Tori. Ladies first. Chivalry isn't dead. We're just high. So we'll start with Tori, Terry, and then Tyler.
That's very kind of you. Very gentlemanly. Thank you.
It only took 10 seconds to get there.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah, you saved it. It was fine. So I've been on before. You own some of my art. Some of my art is in the mail on its way to you. And
I'm excited for that.
Hope it makes it. Yeah, I'm a part of this hype squad with Terry is the one who's brought me along here today. He's one of the main organizers.
You're gonna have to speak up. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It's my bad camera. I'm sorry. So yeah, Terry's one of the main organizers of our little art collective, and yeah, we've got lots going on, but I'm sure he'll talk about that. So I'm a visual artist. I make NFTs.
Yeah, I got one of your NFTs from an auction I wanted to talk about later on and let people know how they can get some physical as well as virtual and digital art from you. So, Terry, maybe let us know a little bit about what you're heading, and we'll let Tyler introduce himself.
All right. Yeah, I'm Terry or T3D.
T3D Ted.
Ted. Or Ted. I'm a digital sculptor. I make mostly spooky things based on emotions, feelings, and spooky things in general. Currently, I can be found on Foundation, OpenSea, Rarible, and Ghost Market as well.
I like that you said spooky. when like
It is spooky.
it's kind of demonic.
There's definitely a vibe to it. There's definitely a feeling that you get when you see it.
I would say it was horrifying if it didn't have a cute
It's
vibe
cute,
to
yeah.
it, right? So
it's cute.
I think spooky works, you know. But yeah, it's some. It feels like it would hurt to touch it, but it looks so good. I kind of want to touch it.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of want to eat it.
Yeah,
for
at some
reason,
point
too.
in the future, I'm going to buy a 3D printer. At some point,
Yep.
and gonna print some physicals. That's the dream.
Yep. Exactly. So yeah, please do go on.
Yeah, we started a little community together with CryptoPom and Pixelated World to sort of have an art collective instead of only people that are interested in how much is your art going to be worth in the next month. It's more like just coming together and actually enjoying art and with other artists as well. And we have a Discord. We started with 3 people. It's currently over 250 people in it.
Wow.
So, and we're starting a lot of small events as well. Like,
Is it invite
current-
only, or can anybody just pop in?
It's invite only,
Okay.
but you can just DM me on Art by T3D on Twitter. Have a genuine conversation, and I'll shoot you an invite. And yeah, we're currently having art jam going on soon, probably next week, where we're going to, with like 20 people, going to make art in 24 hours about the theme monsters. So that's going to be a ton of fun. With our own podcast in the works as well.
Nice.
Nice.
See, that's what we need. Artists doing podcasts about art.
Yeah,
I appreciate having you on as guests, but I'd much rather tune into your show.
absolutely.
Yeah,
We'll have
most
such a good
definitely.
rapport with each
We need
other.
a few guests, so you're welcome as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be honored. So, Tyler, how do you fall into all of this?
I'm just random guy Terry invited. Messaged
well.
me out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, you want to join?" After I asked for some help, so that was the best help I got was joining the Discord. But I'm an experimental 3D artist, and I'm more curious about creativity than I am about art. So I want to develop new styles, but more importantly, I want to document along the way how I came to that, because I feel like there's all these like art styles and these amazing artists, and it's like it's cool, but how did they get to that? Like, what did they do? There might be like diary entries or something, but yeah,
It's like
I'm very much
an
interested in
avant-garde
creativity.
blueprint.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. That's actually a really good concept. And with the technology that we have today, I feel like we're kind of unintentionally documenting that process, you know, by following, you know, certain artists, their earlier artworks that are NFTs. You know, you can kind of follow their art through the blockchain and just see that progression and see what kind of led to the next one from the last few. And kind of putting that in, you know, like you said, a journal kind of a format, I think would go very well with the collectors of it, because people that are collecting art are, you know, not investing necessarily, but, you know, collecting the artists themselves, and to get to know the artist more brings you to a closer connection to the art that you have already admired, which makes you admire it even more. So I think that's a very good bridge to fill in the void that we see between artists and collectors, is that who is the artist really? You know, we get like an autobiography, but I want to know about this specific piece of art from the artist and how did it get here, you know, in that like blueprint format. So I wanted to dive into a little bit, like, what do you guys mean by like experimental? You know, like, are you just taking like DMT and trying to make art, or what do you mean
And
by
if not, just
experimental
start,
art?
please,
I
especially
wish.
Ted. That'd be amazing.
Oh, you can go, Terry.
Yeah, what I really admire what Tyler always does, and I try to implement that as more as well. Like, you have all these fancy new programs for like 3D modeling and sculpting and things, but like Tyler abuses those programs instead of like trying to find the conditional ways to work with them. So pushing them to the edge until they just barely not crash, and use that in this artwork as well. So using
Interesting.
unconditional methods of programs instead of the, oh, let's use a cube. Now let's try to destroy this cube and see what kind of effects that gives.
Yeah, kind of like a real life version of a glitch, but
Yeah.
taking to like the 10th level. No, I've seen it a lot in certain artwork like early on, and then it kind of disappeared. And I think people are doing it like really good now. Like it's kind of this thing that people have kind of decided as a real form of expression, especially in the NFT world.
Yeah, I can see, kind of relating this to the legacy physical art where the experimental phase was different types of canvas or different
Yeah, or
types
paint
of
splatter.
paint, not just the splatter, but the type of the paint itself. Where did the pigments come from? What's actually holding that pigment and will last longer on the canvases? So I can see what you mean by trying to push it to the edge and seeing, well, like, will this pigment even last longer than 50 years on the canvas that I chose? We're gonna find out. Tori, so I wanted to dive a little bit into like some of the physical stuff, and like I mentioned earlier, the auction that I was invited to, thanks to the group that Terry and Palmer are a part of here. Like I kind of got into like an invite only auction. It felt very bougie. It was fun, and I got to acquire one of your pieces that came with a physical painting that you used to create the NFT, and I get to choose how it's done. I know you practiced on wax. I'm going to have to hold your hand after this event. I need more time in my life, I swear. But I love that you did so many different unique things during that auction that really like turned me onto it. Besides the art being absolutely gorgeous, that you added the fact that I get a physical piece that you've done mailed to me and the NFT that you'll be minting from your wallet to my wallet is on a blockchain of my choice. That is so nuanced and like that experimental side of utility. I wanted to give you a chance to kind of talk about like what you're doing and a little bit about like that auction that we were a part of.
Yeah, I'm glad you appreciated it because the auction house was a little bit.
You started off strong and then we lost you.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with my cam. How's it now?
Kind of tap on it. I don't know. Your mic's so low. It's weird.
Yeah, that's what we do over here when things don't work. We just like slam them a lot.
Like with old TVs.
How is it now?
It comes in and out. Try to
perfect.
just talk loud. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. I mean, I could try and unplug it again, or I could try and plug my headset in and just see.
You might have to try because I don't think anybody can hear you in the chat.
Oh man, I don't know what's wrong with it. Sorry,
Oh, it's okay.
I'll unplug something.
Sorry about that, everybody. All right, we'll come back to utility and gamification of art as soon as Tori gets her mic. I guess I'll let Terry or Tyler tag team this conversation a little bit. The collaborative side of things, and the first thing that I did when I saw your art, Terry, was like, I need to introduce you to Sultan. Holy crap,
Yeah.
you guys could do some cool shit together. I
We're
want to
currently
talk
working
about
on
the
that as well.
collaborative side of the space where I feel like artists may be too intimidated to reach out to other artists to want to work with them. I don't understand the intimidation. We talked about this before last time I had you on the podcast. And the way that you and Sultan kind of, grew a relationship after that introduction, I just want you to touch on the collaborative possibilities of art and NFTs now.
Yeah, I think doing collabs is something that's so good for and mostly just not only for growing your own artwork, but as well as expanding your horizons with like other people, their communities. Because most people start like when you have a small following and that grows bigger, you start your own community, sort of speaking. And if you do a collab with someone, you introduce yourself to the community in a great way. So I think not only for like introducing yourself to like new styles, new kinds of artwork, how people produce their work, it's a great way to get to know people and also to get to know the person that's making art as well. I started a collaboration with Tyler as well that's sold as well on Foundation. And we started both like just streaming our sculpting. And I was like, can I make the head for that creature? And after that was like, oh, let me paint this. And so we interchanged different parts of that creature and grew a collaboration out of that. And that's just so much fun to do and get to know someone that way.
Terry, how's it been as a live streamer doing your art live? A lot of artists feel like that might be too exposing of the process. I feel like sort of like showing people the secret sauce behind the kitchen or something. And I guess I could let Tyler touch on that. You know, what are your thoughts as an artist doing like live stream creations?
Oh, I personally am of the mindset like it doesn't. I don't think it matters. Like people, if they want to see what I'm doing, it's not the technique that's gotten me here. It's sort of the mindset of, well, I'm just gonna screw this up anyway. So go ahead and watch me screw it up. And if you take something from that, you're gonna end up changing it anyway. So it's beneficial regardless of if I think people are gonna take my secret sauce or whatever, because it's all about growth and getting things going. And I think live streaming that allows other people to grow as well.
Yeah,
I
I
love
stole
that.
one of the techniques from your showers. Used it for drool for one of my demons. So thank you for that as well.
See, that's awesome. I talked to a few artists and I see other, you know, artists ask some artists for like tips and they're like, nah, dude, I can't give out the secret sauce. And then here you are, you know, live streaming the whole process where I think that's, you know, sort of maybe kind of like a tab. I don't know, I'm not an artist, but from like the vibe I get from pretty uptight artists is like the creation process is like close to chest, you know, it's more intimate than filming a sex scene or something like, and you know, they don't want to give away that information, but I think the NFT space, we're we're so giving in a way, it's almost like beneficial, and it kind of breaks the paradigm of selfishness that we see like the legacy artists say like, no, this is my style, this is my secret.
It's
And
ego.
we've seen what happens in the art industry when you try to patent a fucking color. Somebody will just make it a different shade and patent it and give it away for free. So what is it, ultra black or something, like pure black, like that scam, whatever.
Yeah, the thing is
The
as well, like
color was such a big
while
cloud.
we were working on our collaboration and streaming both our parts that we were doing, another artist was just watching our entire from A to Z nearly and was like, "Yeah, I want to buy this NFT." So that helps as well. Like just getting engagement of people while you're working on things is huge. You can
Oh, and it
learn new
lets
things
us,
from
you
other
know, as a
people, and it
collector, know that you're not just offloading it to somebody offshore, you know, using Fiverr, and you're just buying some anonymous person's art from another country and selling it as an artist on Twitter. Watching somebody make their art adds a lot of that proof of work to it. And I know synonymous and anonymous artists, you know, that there's a real reason why some are, because of where they may live, the value they may start to earn could be dangerous, and they can't afford to be public. But collectors can't afford to purchase fake, stolen, or whatever kind of like, you know, immoral art that is out there. So watching the creation process brings a lot of peace of mind as a collector when buying something, because you don't have that, if you know, worries of, you know, I hope that this is really made by this person, even though I don't know who they are. Maybe just live streaming your iPad, the process itself is proof enough that it's not just
Yeah.
a random person that you found on Fiverr, or, you know, your cousin that may not be really into crypto. They're just letting you sell their art. I don't, we want to know that the transparency is expected, I think, is what I'm getting at. And I think that level of transparency that you are both providing by doing, you know, that experimental 3D art is, it's very crypto, like that it brings that transparency to the art world. And I think it's encouraging more people to potentially do the same thing. Like you said, somebody watched you make it, and just watching, you know, was like, I really want that now, you know. So I think there's a lot more benefits in this space as an artist than the legacy space, to be more sharing and more collaborative. And like that's how we met.
Yeah, it's about removing the ego from the process, and I think it's a lot of the part with broadcasting the process too. People have a lot of ego attached to how they do things. They don't want to maybe reveal that it's not as hard as people think either at times. That's a lot of thing. Something I think people have in digital art, that they don't want to show,
Yeah.
like, hey, this actually wasn't that crazy. It's just like the creative content that's the subject there that's really important. But a lot of that starts with putting your ego aside in these collaborations and allowing the true beauty to come to the surface. Because if you're just competing for who's best, like you might as well just do that without working with each other. You can do that without each other for sure. So
Yeah.
I'd say anybody collaborating, just give into the process, be super open, And definitely broadcast it if you want to, because like Ken said, it's sort of your proof of work.
Yeah, Patrick just said Tyler put a shirt on, and now I can't help but notice. I think he's only wearing a hoodie.
Is that it?
He did that
Don't
in
stand
the
up.
previously as well.
I almost,
stand
I
up.
almost
Tie
need
on,
proof
and
of pants.
everyone's wearing
Proof of
a shirt.
pants. Just show us an ankle.
I love this podcast so much. Tori, give us a mic check.
Yeah, are you drawing right now? Are you doing a live some live art for us now?
Yeah. I was drawing again. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, turn it up a little bit, but yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, is it working
Perfect.
through
That's
this
better,
one?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think the headset's working now, which is good. Yes, I'm doodling again. I thought I'd try and give away the drawings that we planning to do sort of like a giveaway each time for our podcast. So getting into the habit of it, and I did end up kind of figuring out some of the wax stuff, and I have got to actually send you that NFT like you were talking about before.
Oh, you did with the
With the
template
auction.
and everything, and
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's I think I did it right after your instructions, and but yeah, back to what you were saying before, the auction house was actually pretty resistant to me offering that, saying I would mint it on whatever chain, because they kind of needed to have the NFT ready somewhere so that buyers could inspect it and see where it is and what, that it's a one of one or whatever. Kind of needed all that information there. So they I was lucky they accepted that, because I did want to be able to mint it wherever the buyer would prefer.
yeah, they should have assumed that we were going on the honor system. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I felt the vibe of, and I think they should maybe expose themselves a little bit more to that honor system and let that reputation build up.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Because your clout is valuable. I mean, I think if anybody knew who was selling the art, that if you said I'll mint it on any blockchain, that would have been totally acceptable to any collector. Probably not the auction house, but I think they need to look at it from the perspective of me, the guy who's actually there spending money.
Yeah, and that's the community.
Yeah.
The value of having your own community to help determine the value as well. Like, it's got an intrinsic value in your community all of a sudden. So now outside of the community, it can grow and grow and grow. Like, as far as other collectors are concerned.
And now
it's
I
verified.
own Art by Tori on 3 blockchains.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, see?
I'm all over the place. It's everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that I got to get you to do that on Wax. I can't wait to hang up my physical art. And I wanted to see if you could maybe talk to people that I feel like are being very discouraged by the pump and dump NFT flippers that really don't give a shit about the art. They don't want the physical art. They just want to flip your NFT. And I think that a lot of the mainstream influencers or, public personalities and, collectors that are out there that are blatantly disrespecting their artists by telling them they don't want the physical piece, that's, to me, it's the most disrespectful thing I've seen, that people are just unaware of the level of disrespect it is. So I want you to maybe try to encourage more artists out there to do more physical and let them know that there is, because I'm clearly interested. I wanted it because of that physical so much more. And I think that, more artists need to, not be discouraged by the pump and dump NFT sell and buyers out there, and really try to keep true to their roots like you have. So if you could just touch a little bit on like the physical side of what can be done with NFTs.
Well, I have heard some collectors say that it's, it's something that they're interested in, and that more artists should do it and sort of tap into that interest, that there are people like you that want this stuff. But it is hard when you're, just doing the Twitter hustle every day, and everything else seems to be selling and not your stuff, and you sort of go, are they telling me the truth, or are they just trying to encourage, my stuff? Because they feel sort of sorry for me, because you do get lost in the sea of what is popular, and like you said, the influencers who are saying what's cool and what's worth buying, because what's going to be flippable. And a physical piece, I don't know if I don't know how that works with for an investor who wants to flip it later, whether that just gets cast aside, or does it, would they try to sell it and pass it on to the next buyer, or not include it at all? So yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to resell the piece I bought, but I mean, imagine if I ever were to, I would have to provide the physical piece with the digital piece of art as well. I don't see the possibility of, me collecting if I knew there was both and I didn't get the physical from like a secondary market resale. I would feel ripped off or scammed. To me, it would be almost like just buying a certificate of authenticity of a piece of art that you got to keep. Like, you just sold me the certificate.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and to me, yeah, they feel like they should go together. But I was thinking, like, I don't know if there's any rules in place that say that, somebody can't just keep the physical, sell the NFT. I don't know how it would work for the.
Well, it's still the wild. We're in the wild west of art.
Oh, for sure.
The wild west of art.
I've been saying that since like Rarible really took off the other year. It's all wild west at that point if you're not on like a super bougie platform, and for good and bad reasons, in one way, that's what makes it possible for us to all kind of start somewhere in the art world. But at the other, and the other respect, you get lost in the shuffle if you don't kind of keep creating your own buzz, keep feeding your community with content, or at least creating, love, excitement, any of the things that keep people engaged. But I definitely think it's kind of that Wild West mentality. People are just kind of shooting any way they can. They're like putting anything out. It doesn't really matter. And you do have to have some intention attached to something these days if it's going to even be marketable in the least, because you're competing with like Lindsay Lohan and Mark Cuban all of a sudden.
I actually have come across an issue here at this event recently. And I think maybe Tori might be the best suited for this, since she's minted on multiple blockchains. I've run into a few sellers of art as well as collectors completely separate from each other, but they were minting the same art on different blockchains at different prices. And they didn't have any ill intent. They just didn't see anything wrong with it, right? It's almost like, and I get that. It's like selling swag on Teespring or stores like Teespring and having all of the options. Why would they want, like they say, why would I limit myself just to Ethereum, right? Why wouldn't I be everywhere? And I feel like it might be the intention so much may not be as viewable as the act. So people that on the other side that were collecting were like, yo, I saw somebody bought an NFT for like $5 on this blockchain. I paid $500 for the same art on this blockchain, and they're upset. And I'm just curious if you can maybe help artists figure out like how they should approach using their art on multiple blockchains.
Yeah, well, my approach, that's very strange to me, and I'm surprised by that. I didn't think that there would be people who would sort of do that, because to me, it kind of, NFTs feels like you're doing a limited edition or you're selling, one of ones. And so if I sort of feel like I'm making a promise to people, because, and a lot of the people who've bought my stuff have been good friends. So when I tell them this is one of 50, I feel like if I did another 50 on even though it's on another chain, that would be sort of, I'd been a bit dishonest, like.
But I think that's because you know the tech more, right? I think these are from artists that just don't get the tech, so they don't understand that side of it. So it's like an ignorant insult to their collectors.
Yeah, sort of accidental, and I think that can be forgiven. And if it was something that you're doing, like I've seen on Atomic Hub and things, sort of editions of thousands, it's more like collectible cards and things rather than an artwork that there is 3 of, sort of thing. I think if you were doing like 2,000 there and 2,000 on another chain, that wouldn't be so bad in a way if it's like just smaller things. But in my case, I mint completely different things on all of the chains, so it's completely different artwork, and that kind of feels like the right way to do things.
I agree on that. I do use different platforms for different things as well. Like if I mimic series on Rarible, my small creatures and clowns on Ghost Markets, and on OpenSea I have my larger, bigger pieces, and on Foundation as well. and
Yeah, it's the
just
way
try
do
to
it.
instead of going for, oh, I'm using every platform for exactly the same thing, because that doesn't feel right to me as well.
Well, you also use the same blockchain for different things. Like you mentioned, you have, your multiple Ethereum marketplaces, but you use the different marketplaces differently, even though it's the same blockchain.
Yeah.
So I just want
Yeah,
more
the
artists to realize there
differences
are
filter.
other marketplaces. You don't have to just use Rarible or just use the same store for all your different types and styles of art. You can open multiple shops or go to multiple different marketplaces or multiple blockchains, and there's different ways to experiment. That's what I'm trying to give out a little bit of how other artists may be able to freely experiment without repercussions. Because I feel like the collectors that were buying the art that was duplicated on different things, the repercussions are huge from them. They're like, this is a scam. I'll never buy this art again. And it's whatever. And I'm like, I think we need a little bit more room for forgiveness and growth right now, and a lot
Yeah.
less, repercussions for the experimenting when it goes wrong. Because when it goes right, it goes very, very right. But when it goes wrong, it's going to go very, very wrong.
Yeah, you need education
Yeah,
on
just-
both sides of the table for collectors, in the forgiveness aspects, understanding, hey, this artist did this because of these miseducations. And the other side, as an artist, it's really about education too, learning what blockchain provides the best utility for your project. Our guests yesterday, for instance, they were taking advantage of the full smart contract functionality on Ethereum, so it's great. But if you're doing such a project that's more collectible, Wax is kind of your thing. So it's like, as an artist, you need to understand what environment you're playing in. It's very, very, very important.
Yeah, I feel like I broke a lot of hearts when I said I bought my last Ethereum NFT the other day.
Oh, the ripples in our community, just the sadness, the wailing, it was horrendous. Pain you caused.
It broke my heart to have to say it, but
Did
I
you
mean,
get hit with
unless
bad,
there's a real use case on the Ethereum blockchain behind the NFT that's really taking advantage of the smart contracts, it's really hard to
Yeah.
justify it. It's like buying a car made out of platinum gold. I don't
Yeah.
need that, and a lot of the times
Yeah.
that's what Ethereum feels like. It's very expensive jewelry or very expensive art for the
So
sake of being expensive art. And I think that
Yeah.
I'm trying to lead by example by selling $1 pieces of art to the point to where I've almost made $1 million selling $1 NFTs. And I really want to encourage more artists to experiment in more art, less expensive. And don't price out your audience. You can have your mint one of one for 10,000 or more. That is absolutely fine. But also have a postcard that has a 10,000 mint series that I could buy for $1.
Yeah, it's good to show consideration for people's budgets, because a
Yeah.
lot of art collectors, we're not all created equal. Most art collectors from the legacy world have to be wealthy. Like, you don't have to be anymore.
That's
but,
what I'm trying to
but
say.
it's
Yeah,
good
we
to
can
like
break that.
provide tiers for some of us have wealthy collectors, and we also have people that really shouldn't be buying art, but it's
Yeah, that's-
cool to be able to give them something for $1 or $2. It's beautiful.
And then to watch the resale just go from $1
Yeah.
to $100, and seeing somebody who bought your art make more money from it than you is a high that you can't get anywhere else. I love watching my secondary sales go from $1 to $10 to $100. One of them sold from $1 all the way up to $1,000, and I made 10% the whole time, every sale the whole way up. And now I'm making as much as I would like to make at the original sale by the 100th secondary market sale.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the dream. Curse you for getting me into Atomic Hub though, because I spent like another $40 today just picking up all this little stuff that are.
Isn't it?
wanted,
But how
so-
you're gonna spend $40 on 1,000 NFTs rather than $40 in
Yeah.
gas on one NFT?
What 40 in gas if you're lucky. That's on a good day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and I want to let maybe Tyler touch a bit on this because of the 3D art that a lot of artists are building on Ethereum, and I do give Ethereum some shit, but that art does kind of belong on Ethereum in the sense of the smart contracts can handle that quality, that level, and the marketplaces are built for it, and a lot of other blockchains aren't yet. So it makes a lot of sense to see that style of art that Tyler and Terry are creating be on Ethereum, in that you know, it's probably a huge file size. I'm curious, like, how big are your NFTs in data? You know, when you're saying like on the blockchain, is it like 4 gigs or something?
Oh no, not at all.
No.
I had one that was quite large on Foundation. That was my price was higher for my Genesis piece as well on there, because I had included with the unlockable my 3D file for that
Right,
project.
exactly. And you can't really do that on Wax or whatever or some other
But-
platforms.
They killed the unlockables for Foundation, so my Genesis is sitting there for 0.5, but without an unlockable, so it makes no sense for that price range whatsoever. So that's sad.
Well, no, that's and
And-
that's how you can. That's exactly what I'm saying. There's justifications from artists, you know, to use those. So, Tyler, how are you using? Are you doing similar things with like unlockable files and you know things and stuff like that?
I'm trying to think of really creative ways to use that. I've only done it once with like the original image, and it was like it didn't feel right. I feel like if I'm going to do unlockables, it really needs to be something, because I'm doing all these like weird experiments and I'm trying to reach something new. I want the unlockable to be something new as well, right? I want it to stand out above all the other unlockables. But back to the point of the blockchain being used for different art, Tori the other day got me onto Paris, and I'm falling in
yeah.
love with all like the trading cards. I'm like, oh, I have all these experiments that I don't want to mint on Ethereum. These are actually like, they're not bad pieces of art, but they don't really fit with what I'm doing. So I can take these experiments, and now they're trading cards for like $1, and it's super fun.
Absolutely. Where are you using that at?
What
marketplace
website
was
or-
it?
Oh, Paris.
Paris. There you go. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
people knew in the chat where they can go to check out some $1 NFTs. That's my favorite thing. $1 NFTs. I
Yeah.
feel like that's gonna change the world. You know, a lot of
It's
artists that I've
opportunity.
met today think they have to sell $69 million NFTs to get anywhere in this space. And if their art isn't worth $69 million, it's not worth their time getting into the space. When, you know, they set up art at like the local flea market and people give you $10, $20 for your, that's what you should be, sell that digitally, 10, $20. You know, you don't have to be $1 million. And I think that there is a rhyme to reason that maybe a few artists should realize that their first mints probably should be listed at a very, very ridiculous evaluation. Your very first NFT should be set at a ridiculous price, and then sell some $1 NFTs after that. So 3 years from now, when you've built your credibility and your legacy as an artist in the space, 3 years from now, you'll have people that have gathered and collected, and now that first NFT may not be such a ridiculous price now.
That's a very smart way to go for it. I agree. I started using Ghost Market for smaller things as well. I made a 3D.
Yeah, I
vest
bought one of
with, like,
yours.
fangs. Yeah, you bought a clown, I think, previously.
I bought
And,
2 of them. Yeah, I bought the clown, and I think I got an anvil.
Oh yeah, the Mimic
Yeah,
comparable.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm currently working on a collectible for my collectors of a Mimic, so you're going to get one as well soon. But yeah, I'm using Ghost Market for smaller collectibles for a smaller price range, because our Discord, some people were saying, I want a piece of your work, but I can't afford like 0.1 Ethereum or something. So I did some a bat series on Ghost Market for like, I think it's in total of, how much? 50 Sol or something. So that's the,
Yeah,
at the
I think
time
it
that was
worked out
around-
like $30, something like that.
yeah, something like that. Just to have a few more artists that wanted to collect art as well, give the possibility to not pay ridiculous gas amounts, but own one of my works as well.
How does it feel for the both of you? Tyler, are you on Ghost Market as well?
No, I'm just now getting onto the other blockchains.
Alright.
I've been blind to that.
Did
but
you
I'm
know
seeing
that
the light
these
now.
two were using Ghost Market before Kevin Smith started using Ghost Market for Jay and Silent Bob?
No, I did
Yeah.
not know that.
How cool does that feel that you both were like, hey, yeah, we were here before you. Welcome to our clubhouse. Like,
Yeah, you made it cool enough to where he was like, I should go to that one.
you made it cool enough that Kevin Smith wanted to join Ghost Market.
And,
Yeah, I
and soon
saw
you
all
can
those
just
announcements and the thing about that you can just buy in USDC now, I think is a really big deal.
That's
And
awesome.
that you can like top up your account, and they're going to make it you can top up in the other cryptos as well right inside the market. I think that's pretty big for
I think the
buyers and
biggest
sellers.
thing to me was the fact that they're officially opening the IP to Jay and Silent Bob for artists to create fan art, submit it, and get verified to then earn lifetime residuals from their official NFT sales from them. So you, all
Oh,
three,
wow, I didn't see
including
that.
you,
That's-
could create, and you, Joshua, back there in the back, could create art for Jay and Silent Bob, submit it. Kevin Smith hits it with a stamp, and you earn residuals from the sales of that art for life.
Wow, I didn't
That's
see
sick.
that.
Yeah,
in the
they're
announcement.
they're
That's awesome.
legitimizing fan art by giving it a check mark and selling it from their market store directly, and you get the secondary commission directly.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's what it's
amazing.
like.
I hope that I hope that flows out and changes everything because just fan art and just copyright and IP.
Such a big discussion
Problems.
constantly in our Discord as well. People like, can I make fan art? Can I mint this? Is this okay to sell or is this not?
Yeah.
Because you can like sell a painting of fan art at a convention, but can you mint it? And because then you have resales and things like that.
Yeah, I think
So that's
what
very
really
gray
inspired
area.
this topic for the Kevin Smith was probably seeing DC suing an official DC artist for selling official DC art of Batman. Kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Gets a little weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
where
how
does
do
the
you
art
not
get
have
it?
permission to sell your own art of something you were literally paid to do?
Well, and that's the
Yeah.
problem with the commission structure. I mean, it's basically legalized robbery.
Yep.
And if you sign the deal, you sign the deal, and there's really no recourse unless you make enough noise to get some sort of settlement or something, and that's your best case scenario. It's usually not going to happen.
Yeah, that's why I do
So,
my collabs.
That's the easiest way to do it is to just get everything out front. That's the other thing is when you're dealing with intellectual property, be very, very careful right now. Just anybody who's out there, if there is no like submission process, like we were just talking about Jay and Silent Bob, maybe hold off on like minting that thing for a little bit because everybody's looking right now.
Yeah, I give the whole world permission to make anything they want of me and sell it. I use the example of, that
Well,
piece
you're a
of
good
art,
person.
and I don't remember who made it. Maybe one of you will. There's a piece of art that somebody did of Donald Trump naked with a micro penis.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've seen that.
I
one, yeah.
wouldn't even be mad at that. It's like,
You
dude,
don't
somebody took that much time out of their day to paint me. I'm humbled. Doesn't matter how it looks, what it's for. Like, I don't care who wants to make art of me and sell it, as long as it's
So they put
not
effort into
yeah,
it.
as long as it's not ill-intended. Like, hey, this is official collab. It's going to charity, and you don't donate money or whatever. Like, don't do any of that shit. But I don't care who makes art of me. And I actually started my own fan art series on Atomic Hub. One of my fans made a piece of art, and we ended up selling it and raising over $4,000. And then I split that money with the artist 50-50. And now we're going to be using that to get more fan art, to help more fan artists make just Ken Bozak fan art and then make more money through my store, the same way Kevin Smith is doing it with Jay and Silent Bob. So what I'm getting at here for all three of you is, do you see, and I guess all three of you can jump in as you feel, but do you see how you could potentially create art that is found to be in a movie one day because you submitted your art to like Tim Burton to be in the next whatever movie he's doing? Because or even Tori, you could submit a piece of art that could be in the background of a movie in a hotel that's hung up in the lobby. So I think that there's a lot of cool gamification and different stuff that you can do. But with something like what Kevin Smith is doing by verifying it, do you see like how we could probably get the Hallmark card potential of like NFT like stuff where it's like Hallmark sells birthday cards, you want to make a piece of art that gets on a Hallmark birthday card? Are we
Yeah.
getting to that point in NFTs? And do you have anything to kind of talk about on that topic?
I hope so. I hope it's that sort of open source. I saw an artist doing this on Twitter. Like one of his like iconic creations, he just had this post that read like, "This is open source. Use this in any artwork you like," and just like hashtag it so that it links into this thread where everybody can see all of the different variations they've done of it. And you just credit me, but you don't have to pay me or anything. I thought it was just so cool to make it open. And then what you see is like 50 different variations of it because it invites everybody to the table, to make something, which is really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tyler, do you think you could end up doing something that, like, with the type of art that you're making, probably be in video games with like Unreal Engine or whatever, and Unity and all that stuff? Or I'll probably be playing Call of Duty, hiding behind an anvil that Terry made.
Oh, you've got my mind
That'd be
racing right
scary.
now with ideas like say like I saw an artist the other day who had sort of like similar Cuphead style, like that 50s animated objects. And you've got me thinking, well, once like Steam legitimizes NFTs, and then like each game studio can put their stamp of approval onto them, well, then now you can get like very specific like DLCs. Like
Yes.
you get a NFT and it's got a sprite sheet in it. It's got a story that goes along. And then that also goes to like, well, now you have unique YouTube content. Like I used to make YouTube content, and now you have like these special stories that are only up on this person's YouTube, and there's like this whole ecosystem. So yeah, my mind's going wild right now.
Yeah, I think you just definitely hit it on the head there with that, very unique downloadable content ability where I'll be able to be, like I said, playing Grand Theft Auto, and if I want, I can drive in a car painted by Tori. Just because I own the NFT and the game recognizes it in my wallet, it just overlays the image and stretches it over the car's, body. I'm curious, like, where do you think, like, the type of art in NFT space, where it's headed into the mainstream, and where artists like yourself fit in, Terry?
I think it's going way quicker to mainstream as well. Like, I think big brands are going to make the jump soon as well. In case of like advertising and things like that. Look, so many like digital billboards are always just standing there with one continuity ad playing. But I think people might be able to like buy NFTs or have a space for that to display things as well. Not only in like video games, but maybe like in movies as well, or TV shows even. Like if they have a specific location with like different screens that are always on display, maybe you can like buy a location to display your own NFTs, or they buy NFTs to display on that location.
That was an amazing segue to promote Superworld,
I
and
was
I'm
just
going to
gonna
let
say-
Nathan talk now.
So I
was
would love to
waiting for
talk
that.
to you about just kind of the stuff that I think that you could do in augmented reality, and the stuff that you think you could do in augmented reality, because I know it's probably incredible. So at Superworld, what we have is it's a virtual reality and augmented reality world mapped over the real world, and people are going to have the ability to create, discover, monetize any type of content. So like any file type, you'll be able to kind of drop into the real world, pin it to locations. We'll have spatial audio, all kind of cool stuff. So I think that's where art is kind of headed, is like, augmented reality, and then video games, of course. Like Ken was saying, if you could buy, the Lambo that Tori painted in Grand Theft Auto,
And then park it out front of my fucking house.
or like out in front of the club there, and like maybe the club would like pay you a little fee to like park the car in front of their thing to attract people. Like there's so many interesting layers, and that's the other thing is Superworld. You can like infinitely layer over your plots in different kind of ways. So imagine a world where you can create like the next 1,000 Pokemon Go's.
Sort of like how you have an Android skin, like a theme for your phone. You can kind of get different skins for your phone, or different like launchers, or what they call them on Android devices. You can download different launchers, and it just gives you a different way to look at your phone.
Absolutely.
I'll be able to have different skins or launchers to the real world when I look through like an augmented device. So I could see Tori World in Superworld. It's all Tori's art all over, or I could mix those filters, or I could just have Terry World turned on, and all the art that you've put into these locations are what show up when I'm using this field of view device, whether it's a wearable or like a smartphone.
You and your phone.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I could potentially walk out of a hotel and have your anvil land on somebody's head while I'm recording it in a video, and it's obviously not going to really hurt them, but it's there, and it's really locked into that location like you were talking about.
So you'll see me kind of drifting off occasionally during these podcasts, and what I'm actually doing, we have this nice view here. And what occurs to me every time I look out here are the possibilities for Superworld.
That is a nice view.
I go, like, what if you could have like just like whales, sharks, fish swimming in and out of these buildings? You could have like some like alien, spaceship in the sky. You can have like a giant octopus, anything. I'm thinking about sea stuff because we're by the ocean. But like literally anything. You can have things climbing on buildings. You have King Kong over there climbing something. You can have something being built.
Yeah, there's a bus stop right down the street with a poster of a CryptoPunk in it. And I was thinking, what would be really funny is if I, in augmented reality, spray painted over it, trash art, and now
the graffiti scene in this.
yeah, and now I can graffiti in augmented reality. So when you go and look at it through your Google glasses or whatever, you're gonna see my graffiti on top of
Absolutely.
this physical thing. Like,
Shout out to our sponsor, Graffiti Kings. by
yeah,
the way.
Graffiti Kings, shout out
Love
sponsors.
Good segue.
Yeah, we love our sponsors. I guess I want to give this time to kind of wrap things up and let you all have a chance to let people know where they can get involved with your art, gather your art, collect your art, and let them know a little bit more about it. And I'll start with Tori again. We'll go to Tyler and then Terry.
Yeah, all my stuff it is linked to, because it's spread out over so many chains. Easiest way is just my website, www.toribat.com. So pretty much everything there.
That's what artists need to be doing in this space.
Do you have any more like physical, claimable stuff? I'm just curious. I want to let you have a chance to kind of show yourself. So if you have anything that you really are proud of and want to get rid of,
Oh.
Can
let
you
them
show
know.
us, like, what you do during the
Get
show
rid
if
of-
you laugh?
Yeah, I promise I'll let Nathan buy this one.
I'll do it.
I
Don't put me on the
have
spot,
a
I'll do
bunch
it.
of
I have
a bunch of more of those oil paintings. I can grab you some if you want. It'll just
Yeah,
be
let
a
them
second.
see
I'll let
something.
one of the
So
others
if you're
talk.
watching live, you
Yeah,
could
let's check
buy
it out.
some physical art from Tori as
I'd
well
love
as
to have
some
a piece from you.
NFTs.
Also, gather something.
Okay,
It'll be
yep,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
definitely.
and then Tyler, let people know a little bit about your art. If it's the background, something special, anything you want to let people know about it, and where they can go to collect it.
If you guys want to check me out on Twitter, Tyler Ross _ because some jerk took the original, but I have everything linked over there. I'm on Foundation, OpenSea, and Rarible. I'm trying to just get everything on OpenSea because I'm disliking Foundation. But anyway, more importantly, you can check out like the documentation of the process and everything I talked about, my thoughts, sort of the headspace I was in. That's on my Beta Cent Co. / Tyler Ross. That's also on my Twitter. You can just check out Twitter and it'll have everything.
See,
Yeah, and you,
I feel like you're probably the type of bro, and I did too. Did you use LiveJournal?
LiveJournal. That I think so. Wait, LiveJournal.
It was
I
like
don't- no,
before
no, no, no.
MySpace, but it was basically like a diary.
Wait. You're unlocking some memories right now. What?
Yeah, dude, it was,
I
it was
think
an
so. I think
online
so.
social media diary, and it just sounds like sort of like kind of the vibe you're on as an artist. And I feel like more artists will probably be doing some live journaling again. Hopefully, I want to watch their process. I want to document it. That way in 100 years they can make autobiographies out of your history and that you've left the breadcrumbs to. So
And if people can see how quickly somebody's able to whip up some like actual beautiful writing, like that's another thing, like art where, I mean, it's very, very, very hard to do.
yeah, there'll be an art to the process. The documenting of the process will be an art all on its own.
Yeah.
The blueprint
Yeah,
will
for it
be
to
considered art,
substantive
right?
still, but also like visually enticing and quick enough for you to not lose interest.
Like I've told artists before, if I own a piece of your art and you send me a thank you letter for Christmas, I'm hanging it the fuck up next to the
Absolutely.
painting. It's
Yeah.
art as well.
Physical
Um,
airdrops.
So Terry, let people know where they can gather some of your stuff. I know you said you're on multiple blockchains and you also use multiple marketplaces.
yeah, I sent you the links to them. I'm currently on Foundation, OpenSea, Rarible, and Ghost Market. I might be expanding soon to a smaller one for even more affordable price as well. And you can find me mostly on just D3D, but if you go on my Twitter, Art by D3D, there's a link to them as well.
All right, and if you're an artist watching and you're interested in joining the collective that they have going on, it's invite only. So reach out, make friends, network, and join the community of artists. Get yourself more immersed in this space as an artist. Everyone wants to figure out, how do I do this? How do I do that? It starts with
Just
making
get in
friends.
there. Just get in there.
The
talk to
easiest way to
people.
slide into my DMs is just ask about food, like pizza toppings. It's always a great
Just be
conversation
like,
starter.
bro, do you like onion rings? And that's your name.
Yeah, it's as easy as that.
All right, Tori, do you want to show Nathan something? He wanted to see what you were drawing, and I wanted to see what you have up for sale as well.
The drawing makes absolutely no sense at all. I have no idea what's going on over here.
Oh, it's very cool. That's my favorite kind.
But nonsensical. And the camera does that weird zoom out thing. Sorry. Plus, the reason I linked you to that CryptoPunk earlier was because I was
I like
painting
that.
my own version.
That's awesome.
And
That's a long neck.
the actual CryptoPunk is like 115 ETH or something. So
And it comes with that physical as well?
no, the that's just a dorky thing I was painting for a Paris card. I won't be selling it on ETH. So these are little oil paintings I've been doing for Paris. So they're
Those are
little
cool.
like cards.
Whoa.
It's awesome.
They're like art breeder. This is my favorite one because it's like tiger cat.
Yo, you know
Sorry,
what's making me
camera.
Wow.
Garbage Pail Kids and Magic the Gathering and a few different things. Like when you collect their puzzle pieces, it makes a picture. It's like a puzzle to a poster.
Yeah.
They sell these poster sheets that you slide cards into to hang up and build the poster. I would
Yeah.
definitely want to sleeve up my wall with a couple of those card paintings. That is awesome.
Yeah, these are all on wood. This is MDF and paintings. It's real cheap to paint on. So my camera's
You're amazing.
sorry, my camera keeps going blurry like that.
Yeah,
but
Nathan's
then,
gonna go shopping in a little bit. I see him drooling.
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter and like show me some stuff.
And then
drop
I've been
me
doing some
links
larger
for
oil
sure.
paintings. This one I love because of the name mostly. I decided to call it Hacker Garden, and I don't know really why, but I really
Sounds cool.
love it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
very
abstract
beautiful.
stuff like that.
Me too.
I feel like I see a
Crazy.
bottle of lotion, but I don't know if that's because my mind wants to see a bottle of lotion.
I feel like I want that.
Yeah.
I definitely want that.
Yeah, it doesn't really have anything in particular in it. It's just what the AI saw, because these are based on art breeder images. Because I freaking love AI generated
Same.
images. So
Yeah, same.
Huge fan. Huge
then I
fan.
paint
It's
them.
awesome.
It's a whole nother part of the tooling process that artists now have.
It's collaboration again.
Yeah, collaborating with AI,
Yeah.
dude. It's fucking
Yeah.
genius.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You gotta collaborate. You
I
gotta
love
work
it.
together,
That's
so
that,
get
and
left
that's what
behind.
I've how I've been categorizing them on my website. Actually, is AI collabs, and it does feel like you've got an art buddy there all the time to work with you. It's
It's
really
the same
cool.
as playing an instrument.
Yeah.
Like the instrument's making the noise, but you're also making
Yeah.
the noise. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
It's a part
and
of it.
Working together is
You're
super
together.
fun, so.
Right. Thank you all for coming on the podcast today, and Terry for organizing this. I appreciate it, bro. We got to wrap
Happy to
things
be here.
up because I have a panel or I have to do a class. I'm doing something on stage in a little bit, and I got to run.
Miami's
Um,
awesome. That's all we can say.
So we're gonna wrap things up. Thank you everybody who tuned in. All the artists that were here on the live stream are in the title above. So if you go and check the title of the live stream, you can follow all of the artists. And if you're in Miami, I will see you at the
Come get
Intercontinental.
some. Come see us.
As always, have a day.
Every day. We love
Bye.
you.
Have a wonderful day.
Ah! This is a good episode. I love you guys.
Hello, happy bros. You're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. gonna get real high. We're gonna get real high. We're gonna get real high. Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Ken Bozak.